Only you got that one. Okay, there we are on Rumble. So let me put my headphones on. All right, here we go. It's Devin Moran. And I gotta tell you, Devin, you and Turbo did so many, like, you guys did an unbelievable amount of views that I was like, man, I need to start having some more dirt late model stuff on my various platforms, because you guys, it's such a niche that the standard Bubba Army doesn't really care or know much about it, but the people that do follow dirt racing, they flock to any content that's different from what they're used to. And the you and Turbo video did like 60,000 views. It did super well.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like one good thing about dirt late model racing is there's a lot of personality in it. You know, when we were there, we sat there and were talking and bullshitting for 3 hours on your show the other day, and like we were having a blast doing it. So we like talking and having fun and hanging out with you, Bubba.
Did anybody come up like at the track and say, "Hey, I saw you on the Bubba show" or anything like that?
Oh, I had a ton of response really from it. You know, obviously a lot of people watch. You know, like you said, and anybody that's like, if you see different kind of media and hear different voices, that the dirt late model community likes to listen to it. So getting a different opinion from you and a different voice, and obviously you're well known. You got your racetrack, your radio shows. So yeah, people definitely were listening and engaging, and another way for us to get out there.
I had a meeting with Al Vonador this week.
How'd that go?
Well, you know, Al's a good guy, man. You know, Al's just straight shooter. He really is. And so me and Tom Bean went out there and just like, hey, listen, 2025 is going to be a whole different deal. What would Al is, arguably been through more of these. I mean, Volusia has changed hands a couple different times with Dick Murphy and things like that. And I don't know how long the World Racing Group has owned them, but as far as having done the Winter Nationals the longest, it would have been Al, obviously. And he's always been so really nice to Tom and I. He's the one guy that, like down here, like if we had a memorial race on Saturday and we rained out and we made it the next Saturday, and Al had let's say it was open wheel modifieds, and Al had modifieds on the list. Al is one of the very few people that will say, you know what, I'm going to cancel modifieds because I know you guys got a big, I'm not going to run on top of you. Whereas everybody else in town, I'm not going to mention any names, everybody else in Florida, they would just go ahead and run on top of you.
Yeah, I've always liked Al. Like, I mean, he's a hardcore guy, and I think that's why he gets a bad persona at times. But he's always done a great job, and I feel like he always does the right thing. And yeah, I'm already excited to get back there in October. But does that mean you're going to have a bunch of races next year? Or what's the plan?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're gonna, like right now for 2024, this will probably be our last year that we kind of have an abbreviated schedule, just because the car count isn't that good down here local wise. And you got Alltech, you got Volusia, who Volusia runs every week because they need content for Dirt Vision. And Al, Al obviously. So we've kind of for the last couple of years ran kind of an abbreviated schedule just because me and Tom Bean don't necessarily use the track income to pay our bills. We have other things. So we may only do like 8 to 10 shows for the entire year. Now, next year, 2025, we'll probably run, 3 of the 4 weekends post the Winter Nationals. But we were talking to him about, the Winter Nationals, what classes work, what classes didn't. He was super excited that where I think we fit in, where Bubba Raceway Park Ocala Speedway fits in for next year's 2025. I don't know if I don't think Swally has announced it yet per se, but I think we're getting at least 4, maybe 5 nights. We've we're working.
Are you sure you want to deal with us for 5 nights, Bubba?
Well, as long as I got you and Turbo, and Bronson's my buddy, and I mean I got probably more friends in the dirt late model, but I got a lot of dudes over at USAC too. Justin Grant and Robert Blue and Kevin Thomas Jr. And boy, are you guys a complete, you guys, the dirt late model guys and the 410 non-wing USAC guys are completely cut from different fabric. Like, you guys are completely.
What's different about us?
Well, you guys bitch a little more than they do. You guys are bitch, 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 bitch. Whereas they're like, man, that hole in 2, no big deal. We'll just deal with it. It gives the track more character. If I had a big ass hole at number 2, Mark Richards would be so far up my ass it'd be pathetic. I mean, I'd be like, he would be wearing me out. Whereas, here's the thing. You guys sleep in your haulers at the track and bitch more. They sleep at hotels and are more prima donnas than you are. Like you guys are a little rough around the edges, and they're like little prima donnas, kind of.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I feel like there's a lot of late model guys that bitch anymore. Like I feel like everybody's too entitled. Just go race.
Everybody bitches, and you know what? And here's the thing: is it as a track promoter / owner, and you know this, and it is so hard to give you guys the right surface. Either we're too wet, either we're too dry. I don't know. Did Atomic rubber down last night about the last 10?
Yeah, I did about the last 8 to 10 laps. Really, I was kind of upset because I'm gonna bust Schwally's balls here. So Charlie Vest, who owns and runs the track, he did a really good job. Everybody knows it was freezing cold. We started in the daytime, and he went out and started watering it before the feature, and he was going to do the whole track. And Rick
here comes Swally.
Swally
comes in and starts boss hogging. I handle Swally. You know what I say? Hey, Swally, until Ashley tells me what I ain't doing nothing till I get
it. You just got cut back to 2 races.
I just got Monday and Tuesdays back.
Hey, listen, I can't say nothing. I give Swally a lot of crap, but if it wasn't for Rick, I don't know if we'd even have a Lucas Oil Series. So he does a good job, but I got to keep him on his toes without a question.
And I say all of this out of love because I absolutely, you don't see me dealing with World Outlaws. I'm a Swally Lucas guy, but I know who the boss is, and if I got a real problem, I go right to Ashley. It's what I'm saying.
You get down to the nitty gritty, don't you?
Swally, you might not want water on, but Ashley said I could put some on there. And again, I say this, I'm just busting balls. I really am, because it really like on the radio and face to face when we're in the moment, we're racing. Swally's racing against time. We're trying to get everybody out of there. Intensify the coldness by So Swally always has to kind of keep a lot of different intangibles. Us track owners think that we can race till 1 a.m. We don't care. But Swally's trying to maneuver 42 different drivers. What he thinks the surface is going to do. So Swally's in
putting the whole show together. He's got 82 different things he's worried about. You're worried about the track. We're worried about winning.
Yeah,
so
and then
he's got everything to worry
I've
about.
heard Swally under some really extreme, stressful situations over the radio handle it perfectly. Like, hey, somebody's low on the droop rule, and they won't accept no for an answer. Swally's like, okay, I'll be right down. I mean, that Swally has to deal with the promoter. He's got to deal, a lot of times that's different from the track prep guy. Then he's got to deal with all 50 of you guys out there. And then he's got to, again, I bust Swally's balls, and so do you, because at the end of the day, I don't know if Lucas would be as successful or even be around if it wasn't for his passion.
Yeah, it may or may not be around. I don't know, but I don't think it would be where it's at, and I don't think we'd be racing for a $200,000 championship.
No. I mean, he has.
Him and his crew.
I mean, since the Richie Lewis left, that was the best. Nothing against Richie. Richie just is not Rick. Rick is far more user friendly with regards to the promoters and more aggressive with regards to the promotion. I think Swally came up with the Final Four deal last year. That was his idea. I think he's taken that and refined that now to what you guys have this year. And lo and behold, look who the top 4 in points are right now.
I honestly have no idea. I know I'm third.
Top 4 in points right now for Lucas are the same 4 that raced it out at Eldora.
Is it me, Ricky, Hudson, and JD?
JD number 1, 2 points.
Hold on, read it out. Read out the points. What we got?
All right, let me see here. I got the points right here. Hold on.
I haven't looked since after last night.
All right, hold on here. Ready?
Yep.
Rick RTJ at 1,785. Superman 49. John and Davenport 5 behind him. Devin Moran third at 65. You better step it up a tad. 65.
I know. I was pissed I didn't win last night. I felt like I had a shot.
And then you might have had a shot had you gone up top earlier, bitch. You had her locked down there. Follow the rule. Follow the leader. It was starting to rubber. I know you probably thought, listen, the rubber's fast.
I was saving my tires. Yeah. I was saving my tires.
You don't. Hey, numbnuts. You don't save your tires in the rubber. That's eating it all to hell.
Well, I didn't rubber till like 10 to go.
11. And then
Who's counting?
I watched the replay, which they do a great job on. And then Hud's behind you, and he's only 5 points behind you. So he's 75 behind. You're 65 behind. Superman's 5 behind, and RTJ. So look at that. This early on, even amidst some of the adversarial things that have gone on, you're third in points. And you just keep chugging along. Let's talk about Saturday night. Who's that, Mr. Sellers?
No, it's my grandpa, Papa Dick. I'm on the radio.
Now it's Dick.
Are we on the radio or just a podcast?
We're on Rumble. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitter. We're on Twitch.
All right. My grandpa's. So my wife does all my merchandise. My Smoking Hot Wife that everybody knows about it. They listen to Bubba.
Smoking Hot Wife.
And then my grandpa, he's the one that keeps it all together. He keeps the camper rolling and T-shirt trailer rolling. He's the head mechanic.
Now, is that your dad? Is that your dad's dad?
No, it's my mom's dad.
Oh, your mom's dad. All right, cool.
Funny fact, though, in like the 90s, he used to sell my shirts for my dad back then, though.
The $1 million man, Donnie Moran, which, by the way, at Saturday night's icebreaker win was the first time. Very rarely do you go to a track that either you or your dad hasn't won. Like you guys have pretty much canvassed almost from Farmer City. I mean, can you think of the tracks that are on the circuit that you or your dad never won at? Well, now you can cancel out. Now you can cancel off Brownstown because Donnie had never won that.
Yeah, Port Royal might be a track. Knoxville. Neither of us have won at Knoxville.
I don't think you do very good at Knoxville.
I'm good at Knoxville. I raced there twice ever, and I ran 3rd and 5th.
Okay, all right.
But funny. What's kind of crazy though is like
how about Ponderosa?
I don't know. I don't know if Dad ever even raced at Ponderosa.
Florence?
Oh, yeah. Dad, north-south, right there. See it?
Oh, yeah. There you go.
He won it twice.
I know, and I know you guys have killed Fairbury. Right? Like, where do you think?
Dad never raced at Fairbury.
Well, you've won.
Yeah, so, like, all my biggest wins, I won at Bristol. Dad never won at Bristol. I won at Fairbury. Dad never won at Fairbury. I won the Show Me 100 at Wheatland. Dad's never won that race. So, Brownstown, Dad never won there.
Lernerville?
I would say Dad's won there, but, like, not the Firecracker or anything.
Tri-City?
I don't know if he's ever won at Tri-City or not. I haven't. I suck at Tri-City.
You do?
I'm awful there.
Which is, give us both ends of the spectrum where you can roll in and bitch, I got this place. We got this set up. We're good here. It doesn't matter who the fuck I'm racing. I got it. What? Give me your 2 tracks there, and then give me your 2 tracks where you're like, I suck at this place. I mean, even Turbo can beat me here.
I mean, I would say I'm pretty good at Ocala, but that's about Ocala and East Bay is the only 2 tracks I feel like Turbo can beat me at right now.
Yeah, and what's up with Turbo?
It's just hard. People do not understand how hard this is out here, going up and down the road. And like, obviously, he's had a little bit of crew problems, and he's trying to replace a couple guys. And I feel like once he does that, he'll be fine. It's just when you're going up and down the road, you have to have a lot. And
I think you only got 2.
Yeah, right now we do, but we're looking for a guy. So we've talked to a couple people, but haven't locked anything down. So we're trying to find
a tire guy or just an overall crew guy. Just
a crew guy, mechanic crew guy is what we're looking for. Which I have Chuck, who's a great crew chief, and I have Mason, who does a great job on the tires. So we're just looking for someone to help clean everything and be somewhat of a mechanic.
What about is the tire guy? Is he the guy? Like, if you're noted as being like within the dirt late model world, whether it be World Outlaws, whether it be Lucas, and you're a tire guy, a specific tire guy, you've tired for some good teams. Are there guys that are specific tire guys?
Not really. I mean, I feel like there's a couple guys out there that love doing tires and strictly are going to do
tires. Suck, don't they? Just suck. My God, your arms get worn out, and I mean, you got to put crisscrosses in them, and you got to. I mean, there's just so many different intangibles. But at the end of the day, they're probably next to shocks. Tires are the most important.
Yeah, they're the only four things hitting the racetrack, really. So, I mean,
because nobody can really put all that Clements or Vic Hill or Durham power down. You can't get I don't think there's a place that you can race outside of qualifying where you can put all your power down. I don't think.
No, but something else, like I always think that, but then at the end of the day, like no matter how we cut our tires or do our tires, if my car's good, my tires hold up. If my car sucks, my tires get shot. So It don't matter.
Well, it's probably because of the friction or the imprint that it's putting on the ground. Like if it's perfect, you're good, and the tires being worn correctly across, from coast to coast. Whereas if you're tied or you're free, I think a certain portion of that tire is not working for you or working too hard for you.
Yeah, if you're tight, your right front's going to push off all the time. If you're free, your left rear is going to just get out from underneath of you. So if you have a good balance, I feel like it doesn't hurt your tires and like kind of like you're giving me crap, but like I was kind of conserving my tires last night because I knew my car was good and that place can wear tires pretty hard. So
I was watching. I was like, "Go, bitch!" Somebody, one of your crew guys had to give you a goat.
Oh yeah,
you went up top with 10 to go. And other than then, you were following the leader. It looked like the middle to low was rubbering with maybe 10 or 12 to go. And then maybe you really started once you went high. That's where you started making up your ground. Now I think you gained 8 spots last night.
11th, 3rd.
Yeah, you gained 11th to 3rd. That's pretty damn good.
Not bad. And it was really hard to pass. So I did a lot of passing on the restarts, and then. Like, you have to be really aggressive when you're passing there, so it makes it a little tough, but that's just the way it is.
I mean, early on, you're dealing with Spencer Hughes. You had to get by Tyler. He started 9th.
Yeah, Tyler, I knew what was going to happen with Tyler. He went in there on the restart and hit someone and got them all messed up, so that's how I got by all them guys.
Did you and Tyler talk last night?
No, I didn't get to talk to him. I talked to him before the races, hanging out a little bit. He owes me $100, and he won't admit to it. We had a bet on the World of Outlaw race on the sprint car race the other day. And
it seems like a pretty good. It seems like it's pretty easy. Either you won or you didn't. What's he trying to? What's he trying to?
Well, he said his guy broke, so he doesn't have to pay me. That's his verdict. But you have to get on him. We'll see what he says.
Maybe next week if we do this, because you guys got a month off. But with the month off, how many of the World Outlaw are you going to go to Farmer City?
I don't think so. I really don't even know if I'm allowed to go or not with the whole appeal and all that. I don't really know what my rules are.
And here's the deal, man. If I was you, and here you are sitting third on the Lucas deal. In my opinion, I would consider you a brand. The 99 Lazy RDs, Devin Moran machine, owned by Roger Sellers, a legend in himself. You guys are a brand. You put asses in the seats. I don't know for what they've put you through that I bring my brand and my ability to attract asses to the seats. I'm looking at this as a track owner, but yet a guy that is your friend and knows a little bit about marketing. I don't know that I bring the 99 machine to Farmer City and give them a legitimate superstar guy. I don't know if I do that for him.
Yeah, I think so. We are planning on going to Bulls Gap for the XR race the week after Easter in 2 weeks. But other than that, I think we're pretty much just going to focus on our Lucas races, and obviously we'll hit a couple flow races and then the Dream of the World. But I don't really know what our schedule is going to be like. We want to focus on Lucas.
I think of course you got to focus on Lucas because that's where you got to be for the finals.
Yeah, my team's goal, my goal is to win a Lucas Oil Championship. So that's first and foremost. So I have to go do some testing and go try to win them races.
Do other Lucas full-time guys like Tyler, like maybe JD, do they go? How many of those guys, percentage-wise, let's say that's in the top 20 of points, with regards to Lucas. How many of them go to Farmer City, do you think? I mean, is it very territorial where you're like, no, I'm not going? I mean, and are the guys, are the Jonathan Davenports and, the Mike Marlers and some of the old school guys out there, are they like, like putting their arm around you and say, hey, listen, man, it's a total fuck job. And, they don't maybe participate in a World of Outlaw event because they're trying to stick up for you guys a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like there has been a lot of support. I feel like a lot of the drivers, I think majority of drivers are on the same page. And we're trying to figure out how we can get a drivers union started, trying to work on some of that stuff, just so we have a voice. Like you look at the NFL or the NBA or anything else, they've got their own players association. And we're trying to get some of that figured out. But at the same time, I know the racers mentality and everyone's for themselves. So you got to watch.
Here's the deal. Let's say you guys get, and if I was to be a if I just based on what I know, and you guys were going to start a drivers union, I would put Jonathan Davenport as your spokesperson.
I said the same thing, 100%.
Like Jonathan Davenport is a little bit older, a little bit seasoned, a little bit patient.
Pretty damn good.
Pretty damn good. Well-spoken, seasoned, and you can't like the last person is Turbo. You could never put Turbo in there because right. So you put a JD in there, but you got to stick together. And you're right. You know how racers are. So let's say that you guys had a drivers union and you guys were going to be in. I think what's you guys' next? Georgetown.
Yep, Georgetown.
You whatever is you want to change collectively. You're like, okay, listen, moving forward on tire samples as a drivers union, we want to change the protocol, and that is after you take our samples, you have to give half of those samples to us in an evidence bag that's been sealed for tamper resistance, so that we have a benchmark of the tires that you take. And if you don't agree to that, we're not showing up. But then the drivers have got to rally behind the president and say, hey, if you say we're not showing up, we're not showing up. But fucking Turbo and a couple of dudes be like, man, this is a chance for me to cherry pick. And JD ain't going to be there, and Devin ain't going to be there, and Hud ain't going to be there, and T-Mac ain't going to be there. So I think you guys need a drivers union, but you got to stick together. You guys could get a lot of great things accomplished, I think.
I agree. And I got to ask you, because you're the promoter. So say we have a drivers union and say we're all rebelling. Me, JD, Hud, Sheppy, Bobby. Say the biggest names aren't going to go.
Right.
Like, surely, like, are you still going to have your race? Or are you going to be upset about it? Or are you going to say, oh, people will come for everyone else anyway?
So that's why you guys need to listen to me, because I wear both hats. I wear a hat. I wear three hats. One, I'm a fan of the sport. Two, I have some really good friends in the sport. And three, I own a track. So if Rick Swally calls me up and I got, a 3-day show, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, let's say, 10 grand, 12 and 15, something like that, like a 3-day show may go. I got 150,000 in potential purses, sanctioning fees, all the stuff that comes with, having you guys at a track. And all of a sudden Swally calls me and said, hey, listen, let me see. Jonathan Davenport's not going to be there. Ricky Thornton's not going to be there. Devin Moran's not going to be there. Hudson O'Neill's not going to be there. Mike Marlar, Shep, Jimmy Owens, McCready, Tyler Erb, and Max Blair all said they're not going to make it. I'd be like, Swally, we're raining out. We're done. We're done.
Like, surely that 100% has to affect your crowd, right?
No, I mean, you couldn't. I can't bring Ross Robertson and Drake Troutman and Dennis Erb Jr. No disrespect to any of those dudes, but let's say that out of the top 20 guys, 15 followed Davenport and his being the president, and we're not going. Especially if it was, I would get with Swally and say, well, what's the sticking point as to why these guys are upset and they're not coming? And if it wasn't anything that I could control, like if they're like, hey, listen, they feel that your track's unsafe because turn 4's too skinny or something like that. And I could say, well, hold on, I can fix that. I can fix that. But I can't fix how you as a sanctioning body do your tire testing. Or I can't fix why, so if it's something that's beyond my control as a promoter, I would be getting on the promoter by saying, hey, I can't be a client or a customer unless I got all the big names there, because that's, as a promoter, that's what we're promoting. Hey, Bubba Raceway Park, Ocala Speedway. Don't forget RTJ, the Superman, Jonathan Davenport. Don't forget the 99, Devin Moran and Hudson O'Neill driving, I don't know, maybe the Rumley car, maybe his dad's car, maybe an old Rayburn car. Hard telling what's he driving. I'm just saying, like, you guys are the talent. I mean, anybody can have a sanctioning body, but they got to have name brand drivers that have organically created this base. There's probably some people that wouldn't go to if you got sick and couldn't make the race, there could be some people that are huge Devin Moran fans that are like, I'm not going because the 99 ain't going to be there.
Yeah.
So I think you guys need a drivers union, a loosely knit drivers union, and there's probably only 2 or 3 things you guys. I don't think you're that far off on what you guys want and what they're giving you. But I think the number one thing that you guys want is this tire testing made more fair and transparent, where they keep the samples, they send the samples, and Blue Mountain Ridge, whatever the hell they're called, they give you the benchmark, and then there's no recourse, there's no appeal, they didn't give you a batch of your tires to hold on to in an evidence bag where you could get them tested somewhere else. They don't tell you what your tire tested for. Maybe it was simple green, or maybe it was a soil surfactant, or maybe it was an acetone. They just say either cleared by the Hoosier benchmark or not. There's so many variables that exist out there. I mean, from the gun, I think they make you guys use your own gun to get the tire. But I mean, really, that's the number one thing that I think drivers need to have an option to, I think.
Yeah. No, and I don't disagree. And to be honest, like this weekend, back to Rick Schwally, he did a great job trying to be transparent with us. I feel like he gets accused all the time of they don't send tire tests in, or they don't ever throw anybody out. But so we had the perfect attendance drivers meeting, just the 20 of us or 18 of us or whatever it was. And he literally threw the tire test book down in front of us and said, here is the tire test from, it was like 2014 until now. He said, any of you guys can look at it at any point you want. He said, you can't take it out of the hauler and you can't take pictures of it, but it's in the safe at all times. So he's doing a couple other things. He literally took a chunk like this big out of my tire the other night, and he's trying to get to the bottom of it, and so are we. I
think Swally is far more. I think Swally's far more transparent and fair about it than the World Racing Group, and I think the World Racing Group has been more of a Gestapo, much like it, and they would be afraid to admit that maybe they contributed to it a little bit, and that is by they claim that they don't use any soil surfactant. They claim that, but I'm just going to tell you right now, having owned a track for 12 years, I have never ever seen a track to be able to be prepped correctly just using water and having 410 wing sprint cars and late models, and it didn't rubber. Like,
yeah.
There's
no way. Everybody uses, almost everybody I know. Like, my dad owns a racetrack. Roger Sellers, my car owns a racetrack. Obviously, we're buds. You run a racetrack. I don't know very many people that don't put something in it. I know they were putting polymer and different things in it. I don't know what they were putting it in it this year, but yeah, there's got to be something. And really, the World Racing Group, I'm not mad at anyone at World Racing Group, because they're just doing their job. The lab told them what they did, and they did their job. But what I will be upset with is if we can't get something figured out and changed for the process, because
the process is broken. Process is broken, and it can be remedied by 2 things. One, giving you guys an evidence bag, a sealed evidence bag that you can tell been tampered with or not, of the sample that they took from your tire. So if I'm going to take this much of your tire. I need to give you this much of this tire. And then when you don't pass the test, they actually give you the list of chemicals that they found on your tire. Otherwise,
which I have got that now. So that's kind of disclosure, and I'm not allowed to share that info because I have my appeal and I'm working on some of that. But the problem is, like Tyler said last week on your show, we're all ignorant about this subject. I don't know how tires are made. I don't know how they test the tires. I don't know anything about it. So really what I hope we can do and what all this comes about, I hope they take the top 12 drivers in each series and take us to the Hoosier Factory or American Racer Factory or whatever it may be, show us their process. I want them to take us to all the labs, whether it's Blue Ridge, whether it's AERDL, or whether it's the one in Indiana. Show us the process of how they do that.
Well, I think if I'm Jonathan Davenport, I'm the president of the drivers union. I say, listen, we need one, the samples that you take from that guy's tire, he gets a copy of, gets that. And two, if there's any positive testing, that it automatically goes to another lab and gets tested there too. And then three, you have an appeal process where the track owner talks about the surfact in full disclosure and transparency. He's honest with what he puts in his track. I mean, there's some racers that put, Tide dishwashing, Tide detergent in there. There's people that put calcium in there. There's people that put soil surfactant, dust suppressant. I mean, everybody's got their little secret sauce and to juice up, if you will. And that at the end of the day, I think might be causing some of these positive tests. And then once a guy gets a positive test, it's completely death. It's a death sentence. You're completely screwed and you're out of the points. Period.
Yeah. So one thing I was very surprised. So I was talking to Lucas Oil, and one thing that surprised me, I was pretty much telling him this and that, and I said I'm innocent, but I'm sure everybody that gets caught cheating tires says they're innocent.
Right.
And they actually told me out of the last 10 years they've probably caught 15 to 16 people, and all but one have admitted to cheating tires. So that actually surprised me that maybe they have their system figured out. And my problem is I'm not like Tyler. I'm naive. I feel like everyone's playing by the book. And don't get me wrong, you're doing things in the gray area, but I don't feel like anyone really cheats a whole lot. But maybe I'm naive and stupid, and maybe it's happening more than I think. But I don't.
But I don't think tire doping's happening to the volume that they think it is, because they've latched it down and made the penalties so hard that I think that and realistically, tire doping, in my opinion, might be good for qualifying and maybe a heat, but I mean, you're running a 30 to 50 lap race at a place that starts rubbering down. I mean, I think that tire softening stuff is long gone, been burnt off, laps 1 through 10. I don't think that it gives you near the advantage that they think it does. Not to say that you need to allow it. I just think people have kind of a misconception of it for longer duration races.
Yeah. I definitely don't want it in our sport. I was talking to a go-kart guy last week. So I'm so illiterate to all this stuff. I've been teaching myself within the last 2 weeks of what's going on. And I talked to a guy last week, and he said you do not want it in your sport. He has, I think, 120 sets of tires for his go-kart stuff. And they have all this different stuff and this and that. And we definitely don't want it. So I definitely want him to keep it latched down. I feel like if there's a way we can prove whether you're innocent or guilty, then the penalties need to be as harsh, if not harsher. But the way the process is right now, I feel like the penalty's too harsh for someone like Bobby, because it's really tampering his career and his life at this point.
Bobby's done. I mean, yeah. Bobby, I think was going to run World Outlaws, I think. Yeah. And
so he's still working on some of that stuff that obviously we can't really talk about until the appeals and all that come out. But he's trying to get it figured out. But yeah, for myself, I'm out a little over 10 grand. I move on. Yeah, it looks like I'm a cheater. Obviously, I'm not. This and that, whatever it may be. But for someone like Bobby, he's going to lose $250,000 this year at least, because obviously he's the favorite and the front runner of the World of Outlaws. You've got Madden and you've got Sheppy and a couple of them guys, but obviously Bobby's the favorite. So that's 150 grand or whatever it is to win the championship. And then him racing them races, which he can still go do that, but it's different when you're not running for points. So for someone like Bobby who says he's innocent, I hope we can figure out a way to prove whether you're innocent or guilty 100%. I don't know if it's sending it to 2 or 3 different labs, whether it's getting a little more transparency from American Racer or Hoosier, trying to figure out what they've got going on, whatever it may be. We just got to get to the bottom of it. And that's what I hope I hope this deal that me, Kyle, and Bobby are going through just like puts in perspective, like how much it can affect your career.
Maybe these 3 high-profile dudes getting busted. Not saying you did it, but these 3 high-profile drivers all in one group. Maybe that'll bring the awareness to that there needs to be a change in some type of format of how they're testing. They say a lot of times that Dale Sr. dying at Daytona brought about all the safety changes. Unfortunately, it was such a tragic event, at a huge expense. But maybe 3 very well liked, very, very competitive guys who get busted bring some awareness to how, just if anything changed procedurally, might change the way they test tires, and that they have a place on deck that ready for the second testing once the first testing is dirty, and things like that. Maybe this is end up being a good thing for the sport, and the fact that it might change procedurally, because it's 3 high. Bobby is JD, and RTJ, arguably, they're the Mount Rushmore right now of current late model, drivers. Now throw in HUD, throw in throw in Marlar, throw in B-Shep. Those are the big swinging D's of the sport right now, and a couple of those big swinging D's, you and Bobby got hemmed up on this tire doping deal. So maybe it takes 2 big names like you to get not necessarily things to change, but maybe just to things to do it differently, so that there's a backup plan when somebody's dirty. It's just not dirty and you're done. It's dirty and now we need to go to step B and C, a different place, and stuff like that.
Yeah, and like I said, that's what I hope for. I like I said, I'm not upset with Brian Carter and Steve Francis, because they're just doing what the lab's telling them. I'm upset that they think I cheated, and obviously I didn't. But hopefully they realize they might have a little bit of a problem, and moving forward they'll try to work on that problem. And if they do that, I'll be happy and help them try to figure out the better way to change the process. If they don't think they did anything wrong and they're going to keep it exactly how they have it, then I would be extremely upset. And there's not a whole lot of World Racing Group races I'd probably go to. So
that's what I'm saying. I think that they need to make a few changes, not admitting that they're wrong, but make a few changes moving forward, so that
just to get rid of the uncertainty. No one really knows at this point, is what sucks. And everybody wants to know.
And if not, it's gonna hurt. It's going to hurt their attendance. It's gonna. Yep. And it hurts Bobby the most, because arguably Bobby is the shit. I'm just telling you. I was watching you guys Saturday night at the Icebreaker at Brownstown. And my God, in fact, I don't know if Bobby knew you were getting such a big run on the high side. I don't know if I think Bobby might have put it up there, and it might have been a different race.
Yeah, I was pumped. So it was a little dusty down the backstretch, and Bobby said he couldn't see Bob, and I'm freaking glad he didn't, because if he could have seen Bob, he would have chopped my nose and went to the top.
Absolutely.
It was a badass race.
It was a badass race, man. And that the ruts that were just gave it character. They weren't unraceable. And I don't think was that dry slick more than it was rubber on TV.
It never rubbered at Brownstown. It was slicker and shit the whole feature.
But boy, you were able to grab something up top, and that's the only reason. You went up top with, I think, 10 to go?
Yeah, it was a couple to go. So I knew Mikey was behind me, and my crew guys pointed me up top, and I saw him. So I just kind of gradually went up there, and then I just made speed, and then the lap cars were stuck on the bottom, and that's where Bobby was making all his time. And I just kind of pinned him in there and got around him, and it worked out. It was
for that lap traffic pick coming out of 4 helped you a little bit on that last.
Oh, that's what won me the race, 100%.
Yeah, right. Because if there would have been one more lap, Bobby would have got through that pick, threw it to the high side, and then it just would have been. I mean, one more lap, and it's different. Not saying that you wouldn't have held Bobby off, but it would have. Bobby got picked a little bit.
100%. That's why our racing's awesome. You never know what's going to happen, who's going to win. And there's a lot of good guys out there.
So how's the obvious question before I let you go? How's Hudson doing? Is he going to stay in the in that ride? Do you think, or do you think that he what's happening in the Hudson O'Neal world? As much as you know.
Yeah, so I don't know a whole lot. I know he's going to be in that deal for a little bit, but I know it's not permanent. I don't know what his permanent plans are. I'm sure he has something lined up. But I think genuinely he's happy where he's at right now, and moving forward, I think he's in a happier place in his mindset, and that's what matters to him. I don't know the ins and outs about any of it. Everybody knows Mark Richards is going to be hard to drive for. He has high expectations. When you go to the racetrack, you're going to win, and that's it. And he can be hard on you. So I don't know exactly. I don't know a lot of the statistics or anything. But
do you think that this? And I know Mark. I love Mark. He's one of my good friends in the sport. But I call him Mr. Personality for a reason, because he's a tough old timer. He really is. Do you think? And there's been things that how I've acted and that I regret on things that I've done in life. Do you think there's an opportunity for the old timer and Mark Richards to take a step back and say, okay, maybe I am a little too hard on these kids, and he's dealing with, he's dealing with kids now. I mean, compared to what his age is, you guys are young, you guys are kids, and
no, I don't think he cares. He's there for one reason, and that's the win.
So I know. So, but do you think that Mark says, "Hey, I need to change my approach a little bit," or am I just going to stay Mark motherfucking Richards, and then this is the way it is, and drive the motherfucker I give you?
Bubby, are you going to change in the next 3 years? You're going to be the same person, ain't you?
Bullshit. I've changed.
You're old and stubborn as hell, ain't you?
Listen, I have made some wholesale changes in my life I mean, I've lightened up a lot on how I deal with my people and stuff like that. And, it was a match made in heaven. One of the youngest, good looking, great drivers driving for the sexiest, one of the most well-funded research teams. And it's just it's people are just scratching their head. They cannot understand how the Cinderella story is over.
It's just like having girlfriends, like you go through a couple girlfriends before you find your wife, and sometimes it just don't work out. I'm not saying it's one party, it's the other. It's just the relationship didn't work out, and you move on from it. It's like don't get me wrong, it's a big deal in the late model world.
It really is. It's a big deal. Everybody's talking about it.
But at the end of the day, in 2 years, no one's going to really talk about it or worry about it. I would say Tim McCready's going to be in this car for a year or two. Mark's going to go find another really good race car driver and move on. And Hudson's going to figure out his deal. I don't know what Hudson's going to do, but I'm sure he'll have something lined up. In my opinion, he's a top 5 driver in the country, and they'll move on. They just, like I said, it didn't work out for him. I'm not saying it's one person's fault or the other. I think it's just two personalities that didn't match up well enough, and it didn't work.
Last night's Buckeye Spring 50 at Atomic ended up being, but nobody had nothing for JD. JD looked like old school JD last night. He just had, the car looked more balanced. The car just, again, it was happy to see JD get a really convincing win. I thought he looked great all night long. You were chasing him down. You started 11th, finished 3rd. Mike Marlar, I gotta tell you, Mike Marlar, he's been tough this year. He's been really tough. He's fucking 157 is right there, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, he'll be someone at the end of the year when it comes down to the Final Four. We'll all be scratching and clawing at each other trying to get in there. It'll be me, Mikey, JD, Ricky, Hud.
The old timer. Don't forget the Newport Nightmare, the old timer. He's fucking putting.
Jimmy? Yeah. Jimmy was good last night. Jimmy was really good.
I think Jimmy finished 4th last night.
4th, yeah. Yeah, I got him with a couple to go.
And then Bobby was in the money. Tim And then I think HUD was doing pretty good, but then got a flat towards
Yeah, he was running 6th or so when he got.
What happened to Turbo? Turbo started 9th, finished 13th.
I don't know. He was up to like 8th or 7th at one point. I don't really know. I know they got all tangled up there, and I don't know what happened.
Do we need to have a Turbo intervention starting first and foremost that he owes you 100 and then go from there?
Yeah, get on him. Tell him.
Well, if
I come down in a week or two, we'll get him to come down. We'll make him pay me up front.
I could double Zoom you guys, man, like and have you guys both on here one of these days.
We'll do that.
So anyway, I wanted this. I texted Devin after Saturday night. I was like, hey, I want you to go on the show Monday just because, one, Devin's my friend. Two, it's the first time that a Moran has won at Brownstown for the Icebreaker.
I love Brownstown. That place is a good racetrack.
It's like it's almost races like East Bay a little bit, almost.
Yeah, so it's like kind of round and flat like that. Obviously, there's no wall, and it's slow. Like, it's slick and slow, but I don't know. It's just there's always good. It produces good racing no matter what. There's always a good race there.
It was good. It was kind of locked down there, and you made it good. You and Marler made it good.
Yeah, that's it. But it's always like that. I'm telling you, every time you think it's going to be a snooze fest, that I don't know if it's just the size, the shape, the banking. It's all just really nice, and it always produces a good race.
Devin Moran on the phone on the show. I wanted to congratulate him on his win Saturday. Then a third place. He's in third place for the Lucas Late Model Championship points, and now it's going to be a little bit different this year. I think East Bay is the October East Bay race is in that final set of races, is it not?
Yeah, so I'm pretty pumped about the final set of races. If I get in the final 4, I feel like I have a really good shot because we go right back to Brownstown for 2 nights. We go to Atomic for a night. We go to Pittsburgh for 2 nights, and then 1 night at East Bay, 1 night at Eldora.
And not 2 nights at East Bay?
So it's 3 nights overall, but only the final night's a points night.
Oh, okay, all right. And then back to Eldora.
Then back to the Big Easy.
If you're in the top 4, and it starts with Brownstown, right?
Yep, Brownstown for 2 nights for the Jackson 100 weekend.
Do you got your setup? Hopefully, you got that setup notes from this past weekend.
We're going through it all, baby. We're making sure we were 100% where we were.
Is it the right front? Is that the difference at Brownstown? The right front? How you set up your right front? Is that the difference?
I can't tell you all my secrets, Bubba. Come on.
Turbo would tell me.
No, Turbo would lie to you.
Yeah, Turbo would be like, "No, really, it's the dummy shock back there. It's
yeah, that's exactly.
You got to put a 900 spring on the dummy shock completely, like just completely some stupid shit that doesn't even matter, right?
Yeah, hey, he ain't no dummy. He knows how to navigate through people.
No, as much as you're the mayor and you're smooth, he's the bad boy from the other side of the tracks, is he not?
Oh yeah, I love Tyler though. It's funny, like. I feel like we do definitely have different personalities, but like I feel like we're such good friends. Whenever we're together, we have such a good time.
So anyway, you're off for about a month. What do you do for these? What do you do for these next 4 weeks? Because you're not going to do anything for World Outlaws. So what are you going to do?
So we've got Easter this weekend, and we have a big old kickball game every year. I have a big family, so we have a big kickball game on Easter, and then we're going to go down and test at Smoky Mountain next week and go race at Bull's Gap. And then I don't know what we're going to do after that. Go play some golf, I guess. Come to Bubba. I'll come play on the show.
You're a golfer?
Oh, yeah. I love golfing. I try to go every week.
Really?
Hell yeah.
Is Turbo a golfer?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I think
he goes golfing.
I think HUD's a golfer, too.
Yeah, HUD likes golfing. You golf, Bubba?
Hell no. My arms are too short, and I'm too fat, please.
Hey, I'm working on that.
So, hey, congratulations on the icebreaker, my friend. Tell my friend Turbo, tell HUD, my boys, tell JD, congratulations. And I look forward to doing this from time to time. And maybe listen, I'm working on a lie detector guy. The next time we have you here, you might be hooked up to a lie detector test. Boy, that would be. Now, how much of a shitstorm would that be if I bring a certified lie detector guy in here? You test negative, meaning that you're telling the truth. That probably one of the questions would be.
That's what we're going to do. What do you mean? There's no question about it. We got to get it done.
And you test, positive or negative, meaning positively you're telling the truth, or negative that you did not lie. Then what happens?
I mean, I feel like it would clear my name. I hope. Other than that, I don't know if there's anything we can do, but we're doing as much as we can.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Devin,
make it happen, Bubba.
I'm working on it. Good talking to you. Spread repurpose all this on your media for me. All of this interview and stuff for me.
Yeah, I'll get you more views. Don't worry, I got your back, Bubba.
All right, buddy. Good talking to you.
Thank you.
Devin Moran from the 99, the Rogers Sellers late model. Probably went on. You know what? It might have went on so long that we might cancel the podcast. Let me see. Let me see if Red's in there on Macho. Macho are the do the other members just want to cancel or do they want to do it?
I can ask them right now. I think they're coming down. Is it Lummy and Seth right there?
You guys, Bubba wants to know. You guys want to cancel?
Bubba wants to gauge how everybody feels about doing a podcast.
It's all up to them. Cancel.
It's all up to you. All the pressure's on
Seth.
you.
It's on Seth.
Anna said 15 minutes. Seth, what do you want?
Anna said 15 minutes.
15 minutes?
What did Seth say?
Seth said I'm here. So.
Seth said I'm here.
How about I pay them and we don't do one? Oh, no, but Seth needs the... He needs
the hours, cuzzy.
No, Seth doesn't need the hours. He needs the views. Oh. He needs the podcast views, is what I'm thinking.
I don't know if they went in or not. I don't think they went in. Oh, yeah, they're in there talking to him now.
Turn your mics on.
let's just do it now.
Let's just do it now.
I guess.
Let's go. We're on.
Yeah, we are on. I haven't ended the stream yet.
So should we end the stream? End the stream, and then you hit us, and then when we're recording, because they're all sitting down ready to go.
Yeah, that works. I'll end the stream. Give me about 5 minutes, and then we'll be good to go.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you.